Hello Cam, it's Thursday and I really need to change this intro. Cam, I can totally relate to your topic last week about trying to come up with something to talk about. Doing a video isn't that difficult, but coming up with a topic can be mind-numbing. But I've got one! At the moment, I don't have one of the most important things to me. It sounds odd, but stick with me. Today is Thursday and as I covered last week, I am in Queensland. But it isn't all cheer and relaxation because at the moment, I'm kind of both bored and drained. Last night was a tremendous storm, and the rest of the week is pretty much forecast for showers and overcast. But that isn't my problem. While I love swimming at the beach, I love just being in Queensland anyway. I thought maybe it was because I didn't have anyone to talk to. I'm kinda here by myself, ignoring family. As a small kid, I was great at making friends. We'd get to a caravan park, I'd grab my bike and I'd go meet the other kids in the caravan park. But making friends isn't as easy when you're older, especially when there's no one around because you're staying with family. But that's still not the cause of the problem. I'm usually fine on my own. I'll listen to music, grab a book and relax, which sounds like a great way to spend a week. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stand here and contradict everything I said last week. Last night was my uncle's 80th and even though some people couldn't make it, seeing my uncles, aunties and cousins that could was great. I loved it. So I've been puzzled. Poor weather isn't an issue, neither spending time by myself or having to hang out with family. So what's the problem? What changes this week from last week? Then, like wondering why that brick is getting bigger, it hit me. I don't own one of the most important things to me at the moment, which is my own time. I think that's the reason why the idea of a family holiday is met by groans from only children to kids from big families. I live at home with my parents and I share my mum's car. Cam, as you know, living with my parents and sharing my mum's car is more of a technical accuracy than a practical accuracy. I have the house to myself 8 months of the year and my parents drive the car 10 times out of the year. I pretty much live by myself and have a free car. I'll be the first to admit that my life's pretty easy. Having the house to myself, my own space, and my own car to get around, it's not real. Every time my parents get home, I'm reminded of this. I go from living in an entire house to living in a room. I start eating out a huge amount more because it's not my kitchen. I don't know what's in the fridge. And that's my problem with this trip, and the reason that I was worried initially. Last week in Adelaide was great. We got to drive there at our own pace, and once we were there, what we wanted to do was for us to decide. In Queensland, I don't feel like that. I don't own this trip, and I think that's true for most family holidays. Parents organise a trip to make sure every day is filled with something. You can see all the people. When you're not seeing people, you're not bored. What they organise isn't always a bad idea, or different from what I would do given my own choices. But that's the issue with the family holiday. It's not my choice. I'm not even sure it's my holiday. I don't feel like I can say I want to do this or I want to do something else. I should see everyone and I should do everything. But that's the problem. I don't have independence over what I do. Being on a family holiday is like being a kid again. Hank Green once said that being a kid was the best years of your life. But if asked whether he would ever repeat it again, he said no. Now that you're an adult, you know so much more, you've experienced so much more, and you have independence. I've never really noticed the importance of independence before, and that could be seen as a credit to my parents for giving me the space that I needed. But being on holiday without the independence makes the whole trip feel like a chore. I felt like this on holidays before, but I never really understood why. Next year I might change it up and hopefully stay at my own place or at least drive my car up so that I've got my own transport to get around. Hopefully then it will feel like a holiday unless it's something that I have to do. I realise that this has kind of just been a rant about my holiday and I don't really have a huge way of segueing it back to the Vlogbrothers. Plus, I'm pretty sure I'm running out of time. So I'll end by saying that today in the bookstore I found Looking for Alaska by John Green, so at least this way on the plane home I'll have something good to read. Cam, I'll see you on Monday. Tell me, Cam, if you fed an entire generation on nothing but Stollen for their whole lives, would you consider them the Stollen generation? We were gonna have this for dessert, but it was Stollen.